Guys, welcome back. Part 4 of the restoration of a 13-foot dell quay dory. In order to prevent spider cracks coming back, I'm going to glass just one layer, quite thick. I don't know what it is, 420 I think you called it, something like that. So I've got a bit of fiberglass. Well, I had a sheet of it. Let's chop it up, and I've got one layer going all the way round, so I'm going to go mix up the resin now, start putting that all on. I mean, that should stop any spider cracks or gel cracks coming back through. Don't want that, do we? And then it'll get a grip, sand in the paint thingy to give back the grip. And yeah, so there's the first little update what we're up to so far. Sanded it back the best I could. That's about we're gonna have to do, as they say. So I'll take all the glass off again, give it all a good wipe down. I don't have any acetone. I should have got some, but the guy in the shop said, no, you don't want acetone, you just want panel wipe. And I said, but I am doing work with fiberglass. Yeah, never mind. So I don't have acetone, which is something that eats into the it would eat into that, presumably. I don't know, and it makes it sticky, so the next layer that sticks to it sticks as such. So wish me luck, hopefully this will work. So see you in the next bit. Alright, a little update on what I'm actually doing with the fiberglassing. So we're going along, it's hard to do one end, flip over, pull the next piece back. Then what I've got is, I've mixed up some resin, but put the glass bead stuff in it as well, so it adds a bit of extra strength. So with a bit of luck, it should resist the spider cracks a bit better. Let's just give it a tacky bit. Now, because it's thickened up the resin, it's a bit harder to get in to it. So pour a bit on. And sort of pretty much brush it over, work it in a bit. I think you all know how this works. I think I'm not going to put the thickener in on the next one because it takes too long to get it in. So I'll do that. Now brush there, and then I've got I bought a bigger roller because my experience with the smaller roller is it tends to push the fiberglass around, and I don't want it moving, so I went with the bigger one. You can hear that pushing all the resin to the edges as it pushes it out. Get right in there. I'll still brush the edges a bit more, yeah. And then I'm nearly out of this, so I'll mix up another batch in a sec. I think you get the idea, you know how fiberglassing works, I think. But I say I'm just putting this one, it's quite a thick mat. It's at least a mil thick. And it gives me something to sand back to get it smooth. And what this does, it kind of does leave lines in it, but in a way that's handy because when you come to sand, it sands them lines away very quickly. Especially that filler stuff in there. Starting to go off down this end. Yeah, gone off down there already. So I've gone all the way around there. Yeah, you can see that. And then that should stop any spider cracks appearing in my new paint job when I do the others, when I paint it. Anyway, here's your update on a bit of fiberglass. Again to go with. Right, it's done. This is the bit I used the filler into the resin to make a filler thicker. and it was a lot harder to get to stipple in, and I felt I was going to use too much of it, or more than I had rather. So I got as far as here and I gave up putting that stuff in and went back to just normal resin. Normal resin's nowhere near as smooth. I'll admit that stuff, you can hear that. Barely any, it's smooth, whereas here it's just rough to the touch. So I've had my options again. I've definitely put the filler in, the thickener, because I think that's going to be a lot easier to sand smooth than this. However, thanks to the weather that wasn't supposed to rain today, it wasn't even rain, it was snow. It just snowed for about 5 minutes and then rained. Thanks, my old van's covered in, it hasn't rained a lot, but of course it stopped play because I can't sand, because it will just clog up the sander. So we've gone around the whole way. I'm not putting the Rolox back in, got no use for them. I'm never rowing this. I'd rather get an electric trolling motor and leave that there ready to go for the so-called, if I have an issue. We're on the Thames, we just float to the bank. So I've gone all the way around. That should stop any kind of cracking, because the gel coat, there were so many cracks it was pointless trying to drill them all back or Dremel them back. So yeah, and my little bits that I did yesterday worked because the water hasn't drained off, so that means it's not leaking into where the foam is, so I'm happy about that. Same as on that side, so the water stayed there. But yeah, once again, I've taken all the hardware out, barring these things. I still need to work out what's going to go where here. I've got a big leisure battery, 110 amp hour. I'm probably going to use that, and that's about the size of that. It's similar to a lorry size battery. That would be a normal car battery. But I might be putting the battery at the front because there might end up being a bit of weight at the back. I've got a decision to make on the seats. Now in the garage I've got a couple of black leather seats that came out of a Mondeo, I think it was a Gia. They're fully electric, they have heating, cooling, up, down, recline, and I'm contemplating putting both the wooden benches at the back here, doubling them up because of the width of the seats, and then mounting the seats to them. The biggest concern I've got is the height. Even though I'm short, I don't want to be sitting that low. So the second decision is forget the seats all together and build a centre console. But then I've got to work out where everyone else is going to sit if I do a centre console. So I've been on YouTube having a little nose around, and yeah, I'll have to make a few decisions as to what's going where. So I mean, you can imagine you got both benches here or there, sort of thing, and then the two seats. Then you come forward, you got the steering console. Say you went with the side console, and then I haven't got another bench, so I'd have to get another bit of wood probably to make, or keep the original one here and the locker. But I don't like the idea that you got to step over. And then obviously here it's going to be all flat, so from here all the way up will just be nice and flat, like a sun decky area. So perfect for where the dog's going to be, because he's coming out, he loves the boat. So he'll be sitting up there, and then I probably need to get some sort of a rail to go around to stop him falling in. Not that he would, but so that's the end of this one anyway. That's part 4. Next stage is give me back my weather, turn the bloody country's thermometer back up because it's freezing, and I can get this bloody thing finished by summer. So that's where we stand at the minute. Still got to get some sort of cover to go over that, or I might just tidy that up a bit more. And well, you can see that. There you go. I could just fill all that, smooth it out, and then leave it as is. But will it crack again? I don't know. It probably would. But that's me done for fiberglassing today. End of part 4. Thanks for watching. So in a way now, I'm going to kind of regret not putting the filler in with the resin. Because that essentially won't need people call it fairing, filling. It won't need any filler over it. It's, you know, it's going to sand smooth. Haven't done that bit yet. So I did the back. So I've done that side. Then we come around here. And yeah, it's coming out smooth, but look at all the holes. So this, then I've definitely got to run filler back over, which is a shame. So unfortunately I've done more of the boat without the filler in than that little quarter there I did with the filler in. So there's something I've learned today. Put the filler in your resin, and then when you sand it down, it won't have bloody holes in it. But I think see that come out alright. As long as the bloody thing sticks, that's basically like a little cap over the top that's going to stop it cracking. Obviously once I've put primer on it, high build primer on it, and then paint it. Oh, I've got fiberglass all on my face. Ah, that's hurting. Yeah, so I've got a fiberglass dust, even though I got Hetty out today and attached to that one. I've still got fiberglass dust all over me mush, even though I had a face mask on. And now my moustache is very fucking itchy. Very itchy. Anyway, my legs are killing me. I think I'm going to have to give up. So, that's at least the state of play by the end of part 4. Because originally part 4 stopped a little while ago because it rained. Then the bloody sun came back out. So, yeah, I got back on it. And here we are now, 2 hours later, and it's all sanded. Well, not all sanded. All the way up there, all the way up to the strap. So I've still got the front part to do. Hey-ya, as old Uncle Roger would say. Hey-ya! Alright, bye for now, thanks and for watching, and that is the end of part 4.